Say hello to the S25 Plus. Yes, I was able to get my hands on this. Thankfully, Samsung sent this out as a review unit as well, so I'm able to test it out and do a review and all that stuff. I've only had it a couple of days, but it's an interesting phone, and I call it the forgotten phone because, of course, everybody focuses on the Ultra, but this is a great alternative to the Ultra if you don't want to spend the extra money, you don't care about the S Pen, if you're not too fascinated with the 200 megapixel camera. This one adds a lot, and it has a lot, and of course the same level of performance because it has a Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, 12 gigs of RAM, 4900 milliamp battery, which is crazy because this phone is so stinking slim and it's light, and there's a lot of good stuff going for it. And also, if you're in the market for one, I've got an affiliate link in the description. They've got some decent deals, up to $700 trading credit, I believe, and they've got some other, extra freebies and stuff. But the phone itself, it's solid. It's got, of course, the same cameras as before, but it's the same argument with the S25 Ultra. You get the reworked camera algorithm that applies to this as well, so it should theoretically take better photos. I've got to go out and test it and all that good stuff because I've been working with the Ultra. I've had this one for 2 days, and I was excited whenever I saw it, whenever I was at the event in San Jose, because I got my hands on it for a little bit, and I like the size. I like the form factor. It's also got pretty small bezels on it. It's got a beautiful screen. It's got a 6.7-inch screen on it instead of a 6.9. There's no S Pen, no 200 megapixel camera. You get a 50 megapixel instead, and you still get an ultra wide telephoto, same selfie camera. It doesn't have the new 50 megapixel ultra wide. It still has the old ultra wide, so it's not going to get that enhancement there. But as far as performance and a big battery, like, you wouldn't think that something this thin would have a 4900 milliamp battery, and they've pushed it up over the last couple of years to where it's kind of almost like the old S series phone before they turned it into the Note. So it's also cheaper, right? A $999 price tag instead of $1,299. You still get DeX, which is also nice if you're interested in using that, the wireless or wired DeX or desktop software, which I will say at this point it would be nice if they would kind of update it and refresh it a little bit, but it's still there, and people that love it will still enjoy it and get to use it. It also has 45-watt charging. It doesn't have the 25-watt charging like its little brother, the S25, and this one is really nice because it shaves off some more weight. I mean, it's even lighter, it's even thinner than the Ultra, and you don't have any of those extra compromises because they don't have to have the extra room in there for the S Pen and things like that. But it's a great alternative for people who don't want to pay all that extra and don't care about the extra. And this gets lost, I think, a lot in conversation. I try to highlight it. A couple years ago, we had the Samsung Galaxy S series phone, and then we had the Note, right? And there were people that loved the Note, and there were people that liked the regular version, and that kind of went the way of the dodo. It went extinct when they combined both of them and basically turned the regular S series phone into the Note, which a lot of people disagreed with. I disagreed with it. I thought it was better to have two distinct phones. Well, I guess they thought differently. They wanted to combine it. That's fine. That's Samsung's prerogative. But it made a lot of people unhappy. Well, one thing I'm really happy that they've done with the regular Plus series phones, they made it more relevant because back in the day, remember, it used to have 1080p resolution. It didn't have as nice a screen. Now it basically has the exact same screen as the Ultra. It has 120 hertz refresh rate. It throttles down AMOLED. And you get a 6.7-inch display, 4900 milliamp battery. It's only 100 milliamps off from the Ultra, and it also has Quad HD Plus resolution. So that's something that I really appreciate. It used to really irk me. I think it was with the S22 and the S23. It still had a 1080p resolution. S24, it got at Quad HD Plus, if I remember correctly, was the year that they decided to do that. But overall, this is a great option. It's a great alternative, and a lot of times this is the sweetheart phone you can get through carriers. A lot of times they'll have deals where you get like, oh, you get a free $1,000 off towards the Ultra or something like that, but it's more expensive, so sometimes they want you to pay money out of pocket. With the Plus, since it's $999, a lot of times you'll get it for free. And I remember all last year, it was like, oh, add a line at T-Mobile, get an S24 Plus for free, or switch your phone, get an S24 Plus for free. Trade in your phone, get an S24 Plus for free. This is the one that the carriers like to push and give a lot of great deals on, where you can get it a lot of times no cost to you. And I'm not guaranteeing that, but I mean, that's just typically how it works with the carriers. The carriers really like to push this one and the regular one because you can get it usually for free in a lot of cases. So check with your carrier, T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, whatever. It's very much a U.S. thing, not really so much in the U.K. But I really like that it has the same power plant. It's got the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, which is fantastic, greatly improved across the board, and it's something where you're really not going to be compromising because you get all the same flagship. Hit the camera button. You get all the same flagship level stuff in this nice slim form factor that isn't super bulky. And I know that they've shaved off some of the stuff. They've made it more manageable, rounded sides and corners with the Ultra, which matches what we have here with the Plus. But this is one of those ones where I think the Plus is actually one of the least bought phones. Most people usually go with the Ultra or they go with the regular model. But I think this one has a nice little sweet spot because with the bezels shaved down so much, I mean, look at that. There's hardly any bezels on this thing. You get the 6.7-inch display, which is still fantastic. I mean, in the last couple years, we've gone to 6.8, 6.9 with the Ultra. But when you look at it and you get basically zero bezels on this thing, it's very minimal. You get a really nice phone, huge display, and then you get all the nice stuff. You get 7 years of support, 7 years of operating system updates, 7 years of security patches, and you have a less financial commitment. And you basically, the only thing that would make this Ultra is if they threw in the 200 megapixel camera on the new ultralight, of course. If this had the same cameras as the Ultra, then it would basically be what everybody wanted, minus the S Pen and minus a couple $100. So if you don't care so much about the 200 megapixel camera, which it is better now, but the last couple of years, they've had a harder time optimizing it, I think, because of just the large size of the sensor data that they got. This one still has the 50 megapixel camera that's been around for a couple of years. I'd really like to see them refresh the cameras on these as well. But because of that update with the science behind the computational photography, it should take better photos. I don't know about significantly, but it should take better photos. And it already took good photos anyway. So I will be testing this out. I'll have my full review on this later on. But I've had a lot of people that have been asking about it, interest about it. And I asked Samsung, I was like, hey, y'all gave me the Ultra, but I got a lot of people who want to see coverage on the regular S25 and the Plus as well. Can you send one of those out? And they were nice enough. They were sending out the Plus. So this is a review unit. I'll be able to cover this. I think I got to send it back in like a month, which is fine. I'll be able to make plenty of videos during that time frame to help y'all out. But the biggest time frame is right now when they have the pre-order deals and all that stuff, because you can save the most amount of money, get the good deals, trade your stuff in, and all that other great stuff that you can get through Samsung. So that's all I got in this video. If you have any questions, comments, gripes, concerns, complaints, nothing too crazy here. Nice and short and sweet. Let y'all know, one, I've got the phone. Two, initial impressions. I like it a lot. I like how lightweight it is. I know I've talked about this in many videos before. I don't like the super big, bulky phones, but a lot of times if you don't get the biggest version, right, you don't get the Pro Max, you don't get the Ultra, a lot of times there's a lot of things that you're missing out on, and there just aren't a whole lot of alternatives. This right here really checks a lot of boxes without having to pay the extra price tag if you don't care about the S Pen, which a lot of people don't. And if you don't care about the 200 megapixel camera, there's not a lot of compromises here. And I love that it's got a 4,900 milliamp battery. It's crazy that, it's just crazy to me that this one has a 100 milliamp less battery in this super thin form factor. It's lighter and it feels great in the hand. It's really a nice phone. So that's all I've got for right now. If you have any questions, comments, gripes, concerns, complaints, stuff that you want to see as I'm testing this out over the next couple of weeks, let me know in the comment section. I will do a comparison video. So I'll do a comparison video probably within the next week, especially while the pre-order deals are still available, so you can figure out if you want one. And I want to test out the camera. So I'm going to go test out the camera between the 50 megapixel and the 200. So that way you can see what the difference is there, and then talk about different things like daily performance, battery life. Is it really that big of a deal? You know, if you want to save some money and if you don't care about the S Pen. So I'm going to try and make some meaningful, helpful content over the next week or two. So let me know what you want to see, and I'll do my best to try and incorporate that into the video. So that's all I've got. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.